The next question is from Fan Patel. He's wondering, where do you project the fund to be in the next 3 to 5 years? And recently, have you been reading some books or articles? Do you have any insightful takeaway that you want to share?
I think that we can cross 100 million in 5 years. We'll raise capital, we'll grow capital. We're at 25 million. I think we could reach 100, and I think we will reach 100. If not in 5 years, in 6 or 7 or 8. And I think we'll still be at the beginning. We'll just keep compounding. I think we have a really long runway ahead. I started this firm when I was 30 and I'm 44 now. I don't expect to do much else with my life. So it is what it is. I'm going to be sitting right here. So 25, 30 years from now, hopefully we can hit our 10,000% returns. But the next 3 to 5 years, I think we have just incredible opportunities through our AI, through our software that we've developed. We're actually being presented with opportunities to create capital that we would never have seen before. We're really at an inflection point. We have some really, really nice tools here. So I expect us to continue growing. We have, I think, 77 LPs currently, and the fund structure allows for 99. All right. So we have like 22 open spots. I expect those will get full. Redemptions is a normal part of life. Some people redeem, they'll retire, they'll build a home, they'll do their dreams. So there will be some positions that are some spots that open up, but I expect we'll have a wait list. I don't think a lot of people will want to leave. So we're going to get our 99 LPs together and just focus on compounding.
That's awesome. And regarding the question on what's your recent takeaways from some of the books or articles that you read?
I often talk about a few books. I really like Howard Marks' books. I really like, of course, Poor Charlie's Almanac. Peter Kaufman just released a new version of Poor Charlie's Almanac. That's fantastic. Todd Fink wrote a book, Warren Buffett, Investor and Entrepreneur. It's amazing about his life growing up with the Buffetts. I've gotten to know Arnold Vandenberg. It's been a huge pleasure to get to know Arnold over the last couple years. I think if you asked him, if you haven't read The Genie Within, I think that's probably one of his very personal favorite books, The Genie Within. Some less conventional books that are good. There's, Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich, is an outstanding book. There are so many. You can read all of Buffett's letters. You can read Pabrai's book. You can read Guy Spears' book. You can read William Green's book. You can read 100 Beggars by Chris Meyer. These are all fantastic, fantastic places to start. And if you don't feel like reading, you can watch Chloe's podcast, The Arigato Investor.
Thank you.
Educating the world.
Now, let's go to the next question regarding, once again, on some of the alpha technology that you have developed. The next question going to a little bit international, to the Chinese side, all right, which is on your holdings on Alibaba. Question from Krishna. He's wondering, like, how is Alibaba being held as a US stock or Hong Kong stock, and any rationale behind this approach? And there's also another listener wondering about, with the slowing growth in the Chinese economy and increasing debt and US-China tension getting even greater, how would that impact on your assessment on Baba's in the future?
Great. These are all great questions. So you may not love this answer, but we have derivatives on a VIE. So we have call options on the ADR, which is the VIE structure that gives us access to the ownership of Baba. All right. So we watch that quite carefully. There is a contractual relationship. We believe that the Chinese government requires capital markets. It would be very strange for them to sort of destroy things. Where the VIE structure could break down is possibly with a smaller firm, probably not with Baba. But if we saw that happening with a smaller firm, then we would question what would happen with Baba. So we'd probably see pretty far in advance, similar to hopefully what we saw with Seritage. So we noticed Seritage long before its real decline, and we were able to exit. So if there's something threatening the current structure, I believe that we'll see it quite early. Regarding the slowdown in China, it's tricky because oftentimes to find great value, you really have to go to where there's blood in the streets. So as a value investor, you have to sit there and look wrong for a long period of time sometimes before things start moving in the right direction. So you end up looking in places that a lot of people don't want to go. There are a lot of challenges with China. There's challenges with the GDP. There's challenges with the economics. And of course, there's tensions between the US and China. However, Baba is truly an international business. They are operating all over the world. Their earnings and cash flows are growing, and they're looking to exceed, 25 billion a year coming up here in a year or two. They'll be hitting that consistently. So if excluding their cash, their whole business is only 150 million, it's like 6 years until they bring in the cash that replaces the whole business. So we find it very unlikely that we will lose money on this Baba opportunity. Baba is truly a global player in the cloud space, AI space, and technology space. Baba, Tencent that we own through our Naspers position, along with Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and some of the big US players. These are the players, and we're so pleased to own a piece of it. And it's a global player. We think it should compete globally. We think in the long term it will be competing globally, and it should be priced globally. So right now we have the Amazons and Googles of the world trading for trillions, and Baba earning 20+ billion a year has recently been selling for under 200 billion. So this is a company that has a long runway ahead of it. Years ago, although Munger reversed his position, Munger started buying in for $200 a share. We've been buying in more like $80 a share. And we've been using our wheel strategy to buy in the money call options. So our exposure is right now through the calls. And the calls are actually quite volatile. All right. So we do see volatility in our portfolio, but these call options go out until December of 2026. So we have in the money call options that we've accumulated for very low prices. In some cases, they've been totally free, and we've packed our portfolios with these. We have call options right now on 200,000 shares of Alibaba. And our plan, because we don't have all the cash today to buy all of those calls. All right. So our plan, if we reach December of 2026, first of all, we may bring in that capital. We're raising capital every single quarter. We also have our structured dividend capture, which is generating cash for us every single month. So we may raise the money to buy that, but the ultimate plan is to use half of the calls that appreciate to purchase the other half. So it's the move that Buffett did when he was buying Goldman Sachs. He was reinvesting in Goldman Sachs in the financial crisis. He was investing in Bank of America. He was getting these warrants, and then when they expired, he would sell half, and he'd use that cash that he made to make the full purchase, and his stock ended up being free. So that's the method that we're using. If they buy back their shares and we buy our entire position, we will own 0.01% of Baba, which is absolutely astonishing. If Baba becomes $1 trillion business over the next 20 years, we will own $100 million of that business.
How wonderful. I love how you integrate value investing and Buffett's principles in your fund's philosophy.